133, 124. Welcome to a live CK postgame show here directly from the Golden One Center. We're not lighting the beam tonight. Just one of those nights. He lost to a better team. He lost arguably to the best team in basketball. I think the Bucks are the best team in basketball. Some people may think that the Boston Celtics are the best team in basketball. Very few people think the Nuggets are. I don't think anybody thinks the Nuggets are the best team in basketball. But between the Celtics and the Bucks, those two teams are amazing. The Bucks are a top 3 defensive team in the NBA. You can say they're the best defensive team, honestly, when they're healthy. I know the Cavs are ranked number 1, I believe. But the Bucks, man, they clamped down when they needed to. The experience showed. The championship pedigree showed. Giannis's greatness showed. 46 points. He was questionable for tonight. The man said he had a bad hand. He did not look like that at all. He was dunking on everybody. He's just so amazing. He is arguably, if not the best player in basketball. Definitely the best two-way player in basketball. But Giannis is just so dominant, man. He showed it again. Every time I watch this guy play live, I'm left in awe. I'm just so amazed by him. They say he's a freak, right? He's as good as advertised. Like, if you watch him in person, you understand how crazy his body is in terms of building this dude in the lab. I mean, his hands are huge. His hands are long. He's incredibly strong and tall. And the way he jumps, the way he maneuvers his body, the way he can hit you in stride with a great pass. He probably hit Jay Crowder about 3 times right in the shooting pocket. He passes the ball so much better off a double team. In the past, those are some of his weaknesses, but right now, he's so hard to stop. The Kings tried to do a lot of things, like after a made basket, go into a zone to try and confuse him. At least in the fourth quarter, I noticed that. You saw Coach Brown yell and the rest of the coaching staff 2-2-2, which meant 2-3 zone, but Brook Lopez broke that real quick and dished it off to a guy like Jay Crowder. Just some of the things that I observed in the fourth quarter when the game was on the line. I applaud Mike Brown for trying to create some confusion, but there's nothing the Bucks haven't seen. They're battle tested. The Kings are trying to be there, hopefully one day. But a game like this is a great barometer for a team like the Sacramento Kings. We'll get to some of the post-game interviews right now from De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. But just overall, just so many positives, so many negatives. The positives, obviously, the first half, which we'll get to. We'll break down the film as well. The negatives, well, people love to say, oh, they don't play defense, yada, yada, yada. But the Kings do have a top 10 defense of rating in the fourth quarter, which is important to note. But sometimes guys just make tough shots, and in that second half, it went the Bucks' way, just like it was going the Kings' way in the first. It happens. It's basketball. It's a game of runs, right? You should have helped break. My guy says you should have helped to break up the fight. Yeah. Probably would have got choked out by Brook Lopez. This dude is a huge man, by the way. He had a great block on Shemezi Metu today. That was crazy. He also got dunked on by Sabonis, the Beast, the Ox. That was fun to watch as well. Just an overall very good played game. There's 2 really good teams, one obviously better than the other, but just a very good game. Felt like a Friday night, even though it was a Monday night. It was a treat, again, to watch the best player in basketball, the best team in basketball. It's a good barometer test for the Sacramento Kings. You can use this game tape moving forward when you start playing in April, which is crazy to say because we are talking about April now. We're talking about the playoffs. This team is a playoff team. How far will the Kings go? I don't know. Just enjoy the moment, right? Just enjoy the ride. But what you can do is use games like this where you match up against the best and try and take away all the positives, try to replicate those things, and then try to look at all the weaknesses and all the negatives and try to avoid and not do the same things, like boxing out, just small fundamentals. Don't get out rebounded by so many. Don't allow too many offensive rebounds, second chance points. Position yourself better defensively to get those rebounds. Just the little things that make great teams. And the Kings, obviously they're getting there, but still a long way to go. It's a process, y'all. It's a process. But definitely lots of positives. I do want to get to some of the post-game stuff from De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. But before we do, a huge shout out to Medici Sacramento, right across the Golden One Center, the best pizza in Sacramento, without question. I don't think anybody can argue that. Top-notch ingredients, top-notch people, treat you like family. It's consistent every single time. I consider myself a foodie. It's funny to say, but I really do now. And when you start to learn about just ingredients, just overall, their stuff is pristine, it's elite, and it's just a great spot to go to before or after a game. So huge shout out to Medici Sacramento. And obviously, if you're looking for Mexican food, man, our taqueria clients, they got locations in El Grove, Sacramento, off Marconi, Roseville, off Fairway, next to In-N-Out. Just great people, great family business. They also treat you like family. And I'm Mexican, and my mom is the best of the best. And I'll tell you what, obviously, I don't think anybody cooks better than my mama. But if you don't want to cook and you don't want to make your mama cook or make your wife cook, guess what? You should definitely hit up any of these taquerias, Taqueria La Perla, La Nueva Vallarta, or Vallarta in El Grove. Top-notch Mexican food, man. Top-notch customer service. Check the ratings on Yelp. Check the ratings on Google. Top-notch, period, man. Point-blank, period. Huge shout-out to them. And obviously, huge shout-out to Crazy Antojitos in South Sac, a great spot to go after games. It closed at 10, so you can still catch them. Obviously, 10:15 now, but they open at 11. They got the best sweets. They got Gunter's ice cream, which is elite. Y'all know about Gunter's. If you don't know about Gunter's, you should go try Gunter's ice cream. They only provide the best stuff at Crazy Antojitos. And outside, they got a taco truck. Handmade tortillas. They got the real deal, man. Huge shout out to the birria spot and Crazy Antojitos in South Sac. Great, great family business as well. So without further ado, let's get to what Sabonis had to say and then what De'Aaron Fox had to say.
Didn't come out on top, but is that what playoff basketball feels like? And like, how much does your team need those games?
For sure, they're a really good team, and but it was us again. We played a great first half. Second half, we didn't get it done on the defensive end. We let players get hot, and it kind of was a snowball effect for everyone else.
Domantas, obviously kind of an unfortunate moment there late. Just what was your view of just what played out there?
Nothing,
I agree with you.
We have our teammates back, Trey didn't like what was happening, and then we're all there for him,
Domantas, what can you take from a game like that against a team with championship level experience that has been through some of those battles that you guys hope to get through at some point?
Like I said, they're a really good team. They got a lot of weapons, and we kind of let go of our foot on the gas on some guys, in the second half, and then they got going, and they had 37-43, in the third and fourth. So that's just unacceptable. It's tough.
Un buen parámetro para este equipo para lo que viene en playoff, ¿no?
Sí. Un partido duro que teníamos que salir y concentrarnos en cada uno, y había muchos jugadores con mucho talento, y al final en la segunda parte no hicimos buena defensa.
Domas, what is it like playing against a player like you did say they have many weapons, but Brook, he used to change a lot of shots out down there in that paint. What is it like playing against him?
Against Giannis or Brook, sorry?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brook Lopez.
He's I think isn't he leading the defensive player of the year, or no? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the standings are. You guys follow him more than I do. Yeah, he's a big body, and he's definitely changing shots, but I feel like we played our game on the offensive end. We kind of got what we wanted, we just didn't do a good job defensively in the second half.
Domas, we've heard Harrison say earlier in the season that after an incident that it was good to see fight from the team and teammates having each other's back. Do you agree as you guys gear up for the playoffs that maybe in some ways it's good to see just some fight and this kind of energy in the locker?
For sure. We've been playing great basketball after the All-Star break, and to see that guys are still fired up, even though that game was lost at that moment, guys want to compete, guys want to come out, and play to win, so that's good, we got to keep all that energy and increase it for the final stretch.
Domas, when you see obviously them pull away, what did you see just in those moments where all of a sudden things got a little out of hand?
Like I said, on the offensive end, we were doing our job. We just couldn't get stops, and then we missed in a timely situation where they just went and got threes, and there was some miscommunication sometimes, on the defensive end, and.
Hey, Domas said it best. There's a lot of miscommunication on defense, and they just caught fire. Like, they hit timely threes. It really comes down to that experience, that execution, that the Kings haven't really faced a team like that in a while, I would say. They faced the Suns, great win over the weekend, but they didn't have KD, so that team wasn't at full strength. The Kings have been fortunate. Nothing to take away from the Kings. I mean, they've been brilliant all season long, but when you face a team like this, it's going to take just your absolute best, executing at its highest level. And there were things that we can break down the film right now, point them out, and hope that they learn from it. And Sabonis is literally talking about those things right now.
Kind of let them open shots.
Tommaso, what did you see from Kevin Huerter in the fourth quarter, and what's it like
Kevin was great,
in the
by the
two-man
way.
game when he's cutting that hard off the ball to try to get those open looks?
It's amazing. I feel like today he was great. It's hard to play against a defense like that, where they just put a guy on you and they just grab you and like, okay, try and get the ball, So he did a great job doing his work early, getting open. I just said, just stay confident. Brooke is going to be down. You have all the time in the world to get your shot off, so just keep shooting.
Great stuff there by Sabonis. Let's take a look at what De'Aaron Fox had to say as well.
That moment.
Giannis can just dribble the ball out. That's all he had to do. And, nothing would have happened. So.
Love that.
That's a team that's won a championship and been through a lot of battles. A team in your spot, what can you take away from that game, given that you guys potentially want to be in those battles going forward?
Yeah, we just have to be able to take it to them for 48 minutes. The second half we gave up 80 points, so you're not going to win too many games giving up 80 in either half, and just made too many mistakes. Just in the second half in general, not just down the stretch, but in the second half we just made far too many mistakes.
De'Aaron, was that about as close as you're going to get to playoff basketball right now? Because it looked pretty intense on the court.
I think as far as a game's gone this year, yeah. Obviously we don't know what the future holds yet, but yeah. But like we said, that's a championship. Team. That's a team that's won a championship. That's a battle-tested team, and they made us pay for every mistake that we made.
They really did.
Fox, I believe Brooke, Giannis, and Chris all combined for 100 points. When they have so many weapons like that, plus Drew, is it like a focus on one and just try and shut one down, or how do you attack a team that's that dynamic?
Obviously, someone like Giannis is getting downhill all game. Obviously, we took 2 charges in the first half. I don't think we took any in the second half. And I feel like we were just able to, limit some of those guys. We let Chris get going too much in the second half, and I kind of think that's what hurt us. Obviously, Brooke had a good game, but I think with Chris getting going in the second half and seeing the ball go through the net and getting to the free throw line, I think that really hurt us in the second half.
De'Aaron, earlier in the season when Malik had a little bit of a confrontation, Harrison talked about how it was kind of good to see some fight from the group and having each other's backs. You look at that situation tonight as you guys gear up for the playoffs. Is there something encouraging there?
I don't know if I would say that, but at the end of the day, obviously, you're just dribbling the ball out. There's no reason to be dribbling around someone or dribbling to someone, and Trey reacted. So that is what it is.
Yeah, De'Aaron, I think.
What?
At the end of the day, obviously,
There's some situation tonight as you guys gear up for the playoffs. You look at that situation tonight as you guys gear up for the playoffs. Is there something encouraging there? Group and having each other's backs. You look at that situation tonight as you guys gear up for the playoffs. Is there something encouraging there?
I don't know if I would say that, but at the end of the day, obviously, you're just dribbling the ball out. There's no reason to be dribbling around someone or dribbling to someone, and Trey reacted. So that is what it is.
Yeah, De'Aaron, I think Milwaukee had 20 free throw attempts in that second half compared to 2 in the first, and then 9 turnovers you guys forced in that first half, only 4 in the second half. What were the differences that stood out to you that led to those?
Yeah, I think they were the aggressor from the jump in the second half, and I think we were able to respond. But like Definitely. I said, just getting down to it. I mean, 37 in the third quarter. Obviously, they have a lot of momentum going into the fourth, and I just don't think that we were able to pretty much just stop their momentum and try to take a commanding lead, and they made us pay for it.
I know you haven't looked at film yet, but did you like kind of maybe some of the intensity that you guys shown? I'm not even talking about the altercation, but even on the defensive side, even though Giannis has a game like that, did you kind of, for the most part, like what you guys show?
Yeah, I think we came out. I think we hit first in the game. I think throughout the first half, I think we were just in control. I think we played. Obviously, we do what we do offensively, and we did that throughout the game. We scored 124 points, but I think in that first half, we were winning that game because of what we were doing defensively. And I don't think we didn't do the same thing in the second half. And like I said, we just have to put together a full 48-minute game.
Well, that was Fox. Has anybody else spoken? Let's see. Oh, Mike Brown has spoken as well.
They just found a way. They scrapped and found a way to get a win. I thought we played a solid first half. We let Chris Middleton get a little loose at the beginning of the third, and once he started rolling, that gave him some confidence. And you know, a great team like that, when they get confidence, they're hard to slow down. You know, they found something that was working well, pick and roll between Middleton and Lopez, and they went to it, and that got them going.
That pick and roll right now.
And it was a good test for us, especially down the stretch in a one-possession game. You know, because we made some mistakes that we probably won't make, that we hopefully won't make if we're ever fortunate enough to see them again. But great team. Our guys fought. They fought a little bit longer, and they got the win.
What was your just view of that?
What's that?
What was your just view of that altercation toward the end?
I don't know. I mean, it looked like Brooke and Trey had words, got a little tangled up, and it was really nothing. No punches were thrown or anything like that. So it's you know, it's a heated contest, and emotions are flowing, and you know, the littlest thing can set anybody off, and then those two got at it a little bit. But like I said, it's all in love.
Mike,
that's love and basketball, that's right.
I know you haven't seen or watched the film yet, but if this were like game one of a playoff series, what kind of adjustments would you try to incorporate or make if you were to see a team like this again or have a similar night?
Well, one thing is, you know, we have to handle like Chris Middleton and Brooke Lopez pick and roll, and we'd have to do a better job on Chris. Like Chris, I just thought was too comfortable to start the third, and we can't let any of their guys play with comfort. They got to feel us the whole game. And, you know, he walked into a three. He got to the rim a couple of times, and it was just too easy for him, and with not much resistance.
So let's jump back and forth with that point that Coach just talked about, right? Let's see and point those mistakes out already. See if NBA.com uploaded everything. Well, Wi-Fi is so trash in this arena. I'm sorry, but I don't get it, bro. You can't beat my laptop. I mean, I have the best laptop there is. So, obviously, the Wi-Fi. Jesus. Okay. Yes, they do. So Chris Middleton, let's check those out real fast. Right. Let's jump to the third. Okay. So this is the beginning of the third quarter already. You see Chris Middleton here. Just walk into a three, right? These are the things that Mike Brown is talking about. a great learning experience for a guy like Keegan Murray. I understand that you'll probably get beat off the dribble, but at this point of his career, this is what Chris wants to do. He wants to walk into a three, and this is the experience that Keegan doesn't have. And, I'm not saying that, he could have been a little bit closer to him, right? Play him a little bit tighter. Just a rookie mistake, man. That's just part of him learning. But definitely something that Coach will definitely, he already talked about it in post game, so he's definitely going to point that out in tomorrow's film session. So we can see pick and roll between Drew and Giannis. Great kick out here. Another mistake by Keegan. These are all mistakes by Keegan, right? I get Keegan's trying to protect the paint, right, from a roll from Giannis. The Bucks is just so good. They have so many weapons, but on this type of fake, I think for Keegan, he just got to stay down, not bite on it. He was out of position. Quick little sidestep, bang, bang, bang. So back-to-back threes. That's what Coach is talking about when he talks about making those mistakes and allowing Chris to get going, allowing Chris to get comfortable. Those are some of the things you cannot allow him to do. So let's look at his third driving layup. What is this? So he gets the ball in the post. This is on Kessler Edwards at this point at the 9-minute mark. So let me see. They pulled out Keegan. They tried Kessler, right? Overplayed him just a little bit. Gave him enough of the angle for him to spin. Attacks the paint. You can't allow that. That's a mistake by Kessler. That's not good defense. But again, another thing that they'll point out in the film session tomorrow. Once Chris seals you, you're not gonna stop him. The dude's 6'8", has all the experience in the world, can get a bucket whenever he wants. You got to stay down and position yourself a lot better defensively. Let's take away this one right here. So even here, he missed a shot, but the Bucks are playing in transition. Great bounce pass, right, by Drew Holiday. And those are things where you just got to get up on Chris. Like, he missed a shot, but it's about the process of things. That's not something that Coach Mike Brown will be happy about, right? Let's look at another shot. Still third quarter, right? Once again, the Bucks are pushing the pace with Giannis. He gets into the paint, kick out, easy three. Malik Monk. Giannis attracts so much attention. There's three dudes. There's really five, but there's three dudes that he collapses on, right? And there's not much you can do. You just got to stay disciplined and be able to trust your teammates, be able to trust that Sabonis will be there. Malik can't dive that much into the paint, and you just can't allow such an open three by Chris. It's just no way. These are the things that are going to kill you in the playoffs, and they definitely killed you today, right? Kings are still up 6, but at this point they're only up 3. I mean, Chris is just cooking them at this point, man. Let me see. Another shot right here. Chris going one-on-one against Sabonis. This is already the fourth quarter. Oh, crisscross, applesauce, easy peasy. That's too easy, man. You got an isolation against Sabonis. Obviously not that quick laterally. And at this point, you're trying to protect the three because he's hot. So you're playing him tight, and Chris notices it. Easy crisscross, blows by him. Obviously, there's no rim protection. But it would have been nice for Keegan to be there and step up, right, for a charge. I feel like if Chris had seen that, he probably would have skipped it to the corner to Carter. But there is no rim protection on the Kings. So that's an easy little floater there for Chris Middleton. Let's take a look at a shot here that he missed, right? Once again, let me see. He gets a little pick there's a switch with Trey Lyles. Oh, attack him off the bounce. Bang, bang. That's good defense there. That's good defense by Trey Lyles. Obviously a missed shot. You got to be able to play like this, play physical with him, because Chris will kill you. You know, Chris is coming off an injury. He's not 100% yet. And when you allow him to just feel comfortable out there, if you're not physical with him, you know, those things will happen. But this is a good example to show the team on how to play Chris Middleton. So good job there by Trey Lyles. Let's take a look at this made shot here. 108, 106 are down 2. Trey Lyles, good defense, man. Really good defense. Just better offense. Tip your hat off to Chris Middleton. They take the lead right here and never really let go of the lead at the 6-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Chris Middleton is really good when he's healthy. He's really good, right? Just a great up fake. It got Trey biting on that, and you know, you got to give him credit for that. It's great stuff there by Chris Middleton, right? Then we see Chris attacking transition. Oh, they count that as a shot, so good defense there by De'Aaron Fox. At this point, the game is tied at fourth quarter. Yeah, I don't know why they skipped back, or what did I do? Yeah, that was silly. NBA.com, this is a glitch. But let's point out good defense by De'Aaron Fox, right? Let's go to the 2-minute mark here. They're up by 4. Chris Middleton, like, what are you doing, HB? Like, what a mental breakdown here. You see an Iverson cut by Middleton here, right? He gets the ball on top of the 3-point line on the left side. There's a ton of miscommunication here from Fox and HB. HB wants to switch. By the time he realizes that Fox already had committed to Drew Holiday, which again, it's just miscommunication, right? A ghost screen here by Drew Holiday. He cuts to the middle. Both guys chase him, and it's just bad communication, man. This cannot happen. And it happened. Like, those are the things that Mike Brown is talking about. That Sabonis and Fox talked about too. Like, they acknowledged that the communication in the fourth quarter wasn't the best. And this last shot here, they're up 9 at this point. Chris Middleton, all the confidence in the world. Tough fadeaway. Swish. All over Sabonis. You really can't do much about that. Sabonis did his job by stopping the drive. And this is just impeccable footwork by Chris Middleton. Great fadeaway. Yeah, that's years of repetition, man. That's a hard shot to make. And Chris Middleton is that dude when it comes to shots like that. He's big time. I mean, he's a proven champion. He hit so many big shots in the finals against the Suns, and that's light work for him, man. So those are the things that Mike Brown is talking about. Let's go back and see what else. Well, he also mentioned the pick and roll between Chris, who had, Jesus Christ, he had 9 assists. So let's skip over to the third, right? I mean, he just killed them then. I didn't realize that it was that bad. So let's go to the third. So he was cooking in the fourth, but see, let's see this right here. Well, that's an easy assist there, right? Like, all he did there, he just jumped it off. It's a great isolation opportunity for Giannis. Sabonis can't stop him. Good defense, though. Here we go. This is the pick and roll between probably Brook Lopez. Yeah, so here we go. So we got Keegan on him, early fourth quarter. They try and set a hammer screen up there, but Middleton rejects it, and he attacks him. Again, miscommunication between Keegan and Sabonis. It was really a pick and pop. It's an easy shot for Brook Lopez. You know, not shooting amazing like he used to, but definitely when you're that open, you cannot allow that man to shoot that shot. And he killed him tonight with that, man. That's what Coach is talking about, right? Let's see here. Another pick and pop between Brook and Keaton. Okay. And Middleton, right? But this time, Fox was out of position, right? Like, the spacing wasn't even great by the Bucks, but that's just bad communication by... Is that Fox? Yeah, by Fox. And, you know, he contested very well, I guess, but it's a tough shot by Javon Carter at that point. Let's see. Jesus. Like, you got to live with those shots, man. Like, I know Brook can hit them, but at the same time, like, you have to be able to trust Keegan and not fall that deep into the paint. Like, the Kings overplayed this. That's bad communication there. No need for that. Kevin did a good job of rotating there, but he kind of half-assed it. And, you know, Brook just did the rest. Like, that's not going to faze him at all. So, we get another little Iverson cut here by Middleton. Once again, exact same set. Oh, that's the one that we already watched, huh? Yeah, we already watched that one. Wide open. Just bad defense there. And then what was the last one? Oh, that's just a breakdown. With 40 seconds left, Kings got caught sleeping. They were down by 6 at this point. Like, if they get a stop, who knows what happens. But everybody's down here, and it's an easy layup or easy dunk. So those are the mental breakdowns that Mike Brown is talking about when he mentioned those things in the press conference. Let's continue.
That has to be the biggest adjustment. Is we got to play this thing for 48 minutes, and they got to feel us for 48 minutes. And then, like I said, that pick and roll was tough to deal with. Giannis is Giannis. He's a load. We got to keep trying to help out and continue to try to force 100%. Others to beat us. And if we do, if somebody else beats you, then you kind of live with it. But you can't have Chris at the point of attack to start the third just play as easy and free flowing as he did. And then, like I said, it took us a little bit of time to adjust to his and Brooks pick and roll game. And once we did, we started flowing again. And then we made a couple of mistakes down the stretch too. HB and Foxy were involved in pick and rolls, and our switches weren't good. Man. And when they weren't good, every time we paid the piper for it. Chris hit a 3. One time, Drew Holiday slipped to the rim, and Kevin had to go in and tag. And I think it was Grayson Allen hit a 3. So.
That's funny. Like, Coach literally just recalled everything that we just showed on the screen right now. And that's a good memory, honestly. The good stuff there with Mike Brown to acknowledge and recognize all those things, like, right after the game. So that's good
there's
stuff
some things
there.
we can clean up where we know we can be better, but Mike Boonhold.
I mean, to be fair, this has happened all season long. It's the only thing you can say is yes, you got to clean that up, but it's happened all season long. Like, it just has. And I'm assuming that he's going to say Mike Boonholz's a great coach. Like, yeah, like, Mike's a great coach.
Does a heck of a job with that team. You got to give him and his staff a lot of credit and their players.
Mike, when Giannis is going like that, I know he's super difficult to guard and a multiple-time MVP, but what, as a coach, like, what can you do schematically to try to slow him down and prevent him from getting downhill like he did tonight?
I thought early in the game we took the hit, but I thought in the second half we moved out of the way a couple of times when we could have taken the hit.
That's a great point. And as we pointed out already, first half, took some charges. It's not easy to do. It's not the sexy thing to do to take a charge off a guy like Giannis who's so physical. Like, that shit hurts. And it's not for everybody. And that's what I'm saying when in trade deadline, you got to address those needs. And the Kings just didn't, you know? Like, you know, you love the fact that Keegan and Sabonis is getting beat up. As Kevin pointed out, you know, he's already playing with a fractured thumb. Fractured finger, I don't know which one to call it. It's fractured. And he's getting beat up every single night. And that's where a guy like Mason Plumlee would have been huge for the Kings. Where you could have given him a night off or two. And, you know, you don't have the luxury to do that because you don't trust him as Metu. I mean, Metu is an undersized 5. He's really a 4 who can't stretch the floor. And no disrespect to him, but he hasn't been able to prove that. His mechanics aren't bad, but he's just a guy that can't hit shots. Just like Trey was that guy last year, and Trey lost a lot of weight. Kudos to him. And he came back stronger this year, and he's hitting shots, and he's up at, 38% from 3. And the up fake is working. Guys are daring Metu to shoot that shot. Talking about Metu, he shot a terrible shot to end the quarter. I forget what it was, a third? I think it was the end of the third. I think it was a 2-for-1, or was it the end of the half? I forget. But it was a god-awful shot. Like, bro, the 2-for-1 was no longer a 2-for-1. Like, you shot the ball with 27 seconds left, and you gave him literally the whole shot clock to get a last shot. Like, that's just another mental breakdown. And those are things that can't happen. You're already getting destroyed defensively. Like, you can't allow those things to happen offensively. Just play the role and play within the flow of the offense. And that's it. But, yeah, like, this has been happening all season long.
So if you're going to play against those guys, you're going to have to sacrifice your body.
100%.
And you're going to have to get ran over. And it might not just be one time. It might be a couple of 2-3 times during the course of the ball game. If you don't, you ain't going to beat them dudes. Because Giannis is too long, too quick, too powerful, too athletic, getting downhill. So that has to be the first priority. The second one is, you can run a second guy at him, from time to time. We didn't think that we needed to, but I do think, and it'd be interesting to go back and see it, but I do think in the second half we possibly had a couple of times where we could have taken a hit, but we didn't.
Yep. Well,
Coach, outside of that willingness to take a hit, did anything else stand out to you that you felt like you were doing well in that first half defensively that kept them off the line and allowed you guys to get turnovers and out on the other end?
Yeah, I thought defensively our aggressiveness, especially on the ball, our ability to shrink on the weak side and still get out the shooters, all that was there, and you like to see that, and it just we have to have some carryover, and we didn't have much of that carryover in the second. We had it in spurts, and but again, if they're scoring like that, we're not having a chance to get out and hurt them in transition as if they're missing shots like they did in the first half.
That's a great point. It's a great point by Mike Brown there. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think? I know you've been preaching this, but put Holmes in. I mean, what do you have to lose? You really can't get worse than Metu defensively. And if he's not giving you that much offensively as it is, at least you have a guy that was once a top 10 shot blocker in the NBA, right? A guy that knows how to play with De'Aaron Fox. He was obviously better with Tyrese, but he was very good with De'Aaron Fox, make no mistake about it. So I don't see any negatives to try and salvage some of those minutes where Sabonis comes out. Let Holmes take some of that physicality off of him. But it's been frustrating for sure. Something that on a night-to-night basis you continue to see. And I don't know how much longer Sabonis' body will be able to hold up. He's taking a lot of punishment, man. A lot of punishment. As Coach said, you got to be able to sacrifice your body and get ran over. That's just the reality of it. And as I said earlier, it's not the sexy thing to do. It's not what everybody wants to do. But those are the things that you got to do to beat a team like that. I don't think the Suns did those things, which is why they lost 4 straight games in the finals. They were doing those things in the first 2 games for sure, but that shit ain't easy. Like, that shit is hard. And that's the difference between Giannis and Devin Booker, between Giannis and Chris Paul. All great players, but one is greater than the other. And you can't make that up, man. You either have that or you're the one to sacrifice your body every single night, just like Giannis. I mean, the dude had a historic block and do things defensively that both of those guys can't do. Now, who is that guy on Sacramento? I don't know. That guy may not yet exist on this team, right? So there's a lot of things that they can do better, but then there are things that you're just limited to, that you won't be able to do better. Why? Because it's just not possible. Some guys are just not good defensively. Malik is not good defensively. Kevin not good defensively. Like, Fox is more than capable. Sabonis to some extent is limited. Keegan, too many breakdowns. HP is not what he used to be, at least athletically, laterally. Davion is elite at his position, but you really can't have him out there offensively. He's the smallest dude out there. So, you can't put all the pressure on a guy like Kessler Edwards. Put him in more. I get it. He's had some games, but they need a legit, like a Jared Vanderbilt type of player, right? Like, those are the guys that you need, that they had a chance to get, and that they failed. That's just the reality of it, man. Like, I know the we believe in Monty people, like, he can do no wrong, but he did wrong. Like, he's done wrong, and he's done an amazing job, and he's probably going to get Executive of the Year. That doesn't mean that you can't criticize him and point out the areas and the opportunities where he had a chance to improve this team, where everybody else can tell you in the media, they just keep it the same chemistry, all that. That's all bullshit. At the end of the day, you got to add as much talent as you can. Period. You add more talent, you get more depth, and good things will happen. Period, man.
No worries. Yeah, it's just like times like right now when I'm cramming.
Let's find out.
For the show, but yeah, dude,
Let me add you here. Hold up. Give me one second. Samuel, welcome, buddy.
Hey, man.
What's up, brother?
I'm happy to be where we are at the moment. It was a good game. Obviously, like Mike Brown said, a few mistakes that were a bit costly and silly, but in the day, we've got to just pick up and move on to the next game. A lot more competitive games on this road. I think they were saying after the break, we've got the second hardest schedule coming up.
Right.
But yeah, Mesu, man, you can't have him in there. He's not that guy.
He's not.
he was terrible.
It's just god awful. He's god awful. It's an every game thing though now. Like it's getting old.
I don't know. There's obviously something that they see in him because he's always been.
Well, he's a great lob
position.
threat. I mean, he's a great lob threat, but that's about it.
Well, is that what we're settling for now? That we've got this offensive game, and then Mike Brown preaches defense every week, and then puts this trust in this guy that's not there. And it's cool having one or two guys that are good defensively on the court. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what's happening to KZ as well. I mean,
and the worst part is, I don't know if it's the coaching staff or just people in general. Like, they act like Rashawn's not a lob threat. Like, if you have Metu in there to be a lob threat, like, let's not act like Rashawn isn't a lob threat.
Yeah, no, I'm confused. I thought we gave Giannis too much space off ball.
Way too
once
much.
we got past the half court. Like, we know he's not the best 3-point shooter, but he's working on it. He made a couple shots tonight and 3, but that's not what I'm worried about. But when he's off ball, Metu needs to be more focused on defense, on him, looking at him, just making not those easy runs, because when he has so much space in his length, he can just take a couple steps and get to where he wants to get.
That, and again, I want to clarify, I'm not saying Rashawn is the answer, but Metu is definitely not the answer. like that is 100% certain. And not 100% he is not the answer at the back of 5.
And then the other point you were making about Davion, I've said this in other chats, other lives with you before, we need a different backup point guard as a option, because when one of them is out, we've got Dellavedova as the backup point guard. I'm not happy with that. That's not.
No.
It's not really an acceptable substitution.
Yeah, well, I think Delly's game is more fit for the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the backup, but it's definitely not now where everybody plays at such a high pace. You know, if you speed him up, which you can, because he's not the guy that he used to be offensively and speed-wise, athletically, right? Because, you know, when he was younger, Delly was really nice. Like, he was solid as hell, but he's not there no more. But, you know, if the game slows down the playoffs and becomes more physical, I think that fits him more. But at the same time, it's not like he is an upgrade offensively over a guy like Davion, who's just terrible in terms of just shooting the ball. Like, at least Davion can get to the rim and put pressure on the other team, but he can't hit his shots either. So,
well,
like
he's
said,
not he can't create his own shots in a sense. He's very good when the ball is given to him off a pass. But
when he's triple threat,
Yeah. But he's not that guy that's going to make a play for himself.
And that's what you need. Like, you need a playmaking guy that can, you know, like a younger Ricky Rubio type of guy that can create better shots for Monk off the bench. You know, Monk is in his best to be, let's be honest, the real backup point guard. At least offensively. But I think you can maximize Monk more if you actually put a real point guard next to him. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those tough situations. Again, you can look at it now, and I know we were caught up on Plumlee, but I mean, we were never really looking at a point guard when possibly we possibly should have been looking. But then your question is who's in there, who's available, who are you looking for? Because when free agency, I mean, when the trade deadline came out, when I heard we got Kessler Edwards, I was like, is that really the trade that the Kings went? This is the guy we need right now to continue where we're going.
Yeah, you kind of have to depend on him, right?
And that's no disrespect to him either, because he's been put in this situation and he's done nothing wrong as far as that situation. But in terms of the GMs of Monty McNair and all that, you go, well, how does this help us? I think is my point.
And that goes back to my point of we trust Monty McNair, he can do no wrong. I mean, again, he's probably going to win Executive of the Year. That doesn't mean that he hasn't made mistakes, or that doesn't mean that he hasn't capitalized on things that he should have capitalized on. We can hear all the he was close to get Vanderbilt. Who cares? He didn't get it done. You know what I mean? He failed.
Yeah, and the other question is if Monty McNair does get Executive of the Year, which he probably does deserve, are we purely basing this off his off season of last? Is it?
Yeah, I mean that's a great point. That's a great point. But yeah, I guess.
I don't know who I'm arguing. I don't know who I'd say otherwise. But what I'm trying to say is that it's a pretty huge call to make off one one start.
Yeah, you're saying because Sabonis was last year, right? And then you're saying this year was Kevin, Keegan,
Malik
Malik.
Monk.
So
which were good picks,
right?
Which were good pickups.
Yeah, I guess you just would have to look at everybody else, right?
Well, the other question is, does Mike Brown become the inclusion of GM pickup?
That's a great point. And if that's part of the pickup, then I think that's
yes.
where you give it to Monty. Like if you're just doing players solely, then there has to be somebody out there as well that I can't think of right now. But
yeah, no.
I mean, maybe the Bucks, like they've picked up a lot of veterans that
I think Jay Crowder is a huge pickup
for that team, right?
Yeah, like I don't know how you can skate past that. Like he's been awesome in playoff teams, especially when you're getting around this time of the year, coming towards the end. Right. He's been a huge player in those playoff times. Not always the high score, but he gets you threes when you need them, man.
Right. But yeah, bro, I appreciate you calling in, and yeah, I do think that Mike and Monty will probably win Coach of the Year and Executive of the Year, which again, they both go hand in hand, and it's been a great year. I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer, right? Like, and I don't think you're not either, but we're just pointing out the facts, and we just pointed out everything that Mike talked about. We just showed the film. We just showed where they can improve. I just don't think these guys have it in them to continue and get beat up and take those charges. Yeah, they'll do it for a half, right? Probably even the second half, but to do it for a full four quarters,
it's pretty hard.
I don't think they have it in them.
Yeah, I think it's cool to have these conversations to hold the Kings to this higher standard now. I mean, you talked last year, even the year, like these last 16 years for hell. I mean, you ain't talking about the Kings like this.
It's crazy to even have these conversations, right? Like, this is what I've been waiting for 10 years, like in covering this team. So these are the conversations that I want to have, and not have I like this prospect. Well, I like that prospect. Yeah. Like in March, we're excited about March Madness.
Well, it's nice not to be having conversations now about looking about who's to come in the draft, right?
Thank you, man. Bless God, man. That is what I've been waiting for so long. But I appreciate you calling in, my brother.
Cheers, man.
All right, brother. Great conversation. Great call there by Sam. Yes. Obviously, we got March Madness coming into Golden One Center Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's exciting for the city to host an event like that. But in terms of being a Kings fan and looking forward to a tournament, like, oh, my God, like, we going to get a top 10 pick, top 5, whatever the case may be. Nah, we talking about dudes who can we get to take a charge in the playoffs? Like, those are the conversations we're having now, and you gotta love that. You gotta love that, man. I'm super jazzed about that, bro. I'm super jazzed about that. Let me see. Light the beam, yo. Light that beam. Holy cow. Great stuff there by Sam. Again, huge shout out to Medici Sacramento, right next to the Golden One Center. Best pizza spot in Sac, no question about it. And even if I had a second pizza sponsor, I gotta be honest with y'all, man. Like I don't fake this when I say things like this. Like, they were the best, and I've had a lot of pizza spots. They were the best pizza spot in Sacramento, without question. Like 1,000%. Like 1,000%. I put my name behind them because I understand the work that goes behind running an operation like that and running it to such a high standard the way Danny does. So huge shout out to Medici Sacramento, right across the Golden One Center. Great spot for before and after games as well. And there are other businesses as well that are not pizza places, next to the Golden One Center, at the heart and across the street inside Doco, that are really good as well, that are solid foundational organizations, businesses that do a great job. Against Sabonis, triple-double, 15 assists, 17 boards, 23 points. I mean, this guy's just a beast. He's so incredible. He is so incredible, right? Harrison Barnes, 14 points, 3 of 8 from beyond the arc. There were some threes there. If he hit those, we could be talking about a win tonight. But just those are some of the things where we can, be super drastic about and just, really pinpoint those types of things. But Harrison Barnes, for the most part, he's pretty steady. He's been steady all year long for them. I mean, it says -17 because he was guarding Giannis. Giannis at 46, so he makes two more threes at that juncture of the game. You could be looking at a different result, or at least the final possession. But the Kings had too many breakdowns defensively, and that's where they lost the game. Deacon Murray had a lot of breakdowns defensively, 2 of 7, not his finest game, 22 minutes tonight. Trey Lyles played more minutes than he did tonight with 26 minutes, 6 points, 7 boards, 4 assists. He did other things to contribute, which you got to love because Trey Lyles was, I thought he was solid as hell tonight, and he only had 6 points. And Metu was just really bad. I don't care what anybody says. It's just one of those things, man. Like, you just got to play either Alex Len or Rashawn Holmes. At this point, you don't have anything to lose, man, and everything to gain. That's just the truth. Like, that's just the truth. Castle Edwards, in 18 minutes, he wasn't great, but that's what you expect from him. 18 minutes. Davion, 11 minutes. Just, again, right, he had a great game. Was it 2 games ago? I saw a game against the Suns, but 2 games in TNT, he was solid. 0 points. It's just going back to what he's been all season. Like, what did I tell you guys? If I had to bet as a betting man, I would not bet for that to be sustainable, right? The last game against the Suns, he was exceptional, but it's just part of the game. That's just part of who he is right now at this juncture of his career. I like him as a person. I think he's a good guy. This is just strictly basketball, right? Phenomenal defensive player, elite at his position defensively. There are things that this team really needs offensively that he can't provide right now. That's just what it is. It's not me talking bad on him. It's just what it is right now at this particular moment of the season. Lee Monk got 20 minutes tonight, 3 of 8, 6 points, 5 assists, 2 steals. The bench wasn't great. Like last game, the bench was historically good, right? Like just an insane night. Polar opposite. Like polar opposite. Right, and we haven't even talked about De'Aaron Fox tonight. He got 35 points tonight, 13-23, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 offensive rebounds. De'Aaron Fox is just a star, man. Like that guy is legit. We all know it. Kevin Huerter, man, 28 points today, 8 of 11 from beyond the arc. He was just cooking. He was on fire. This is early Kevin Huerter, man, when he was shooting 50%, 45%. Just crazy. 8 of 11 is insane. 28 points again. Phenomenal night by Kevin Huerter. He did all he could offensively. 28 minutes and 28 points. That's gonna get the job done. It just wasn't enough because the miscues defensively is gonna kill you every time. Points this team can get. The quality of looks this team gets because they play the right brand of basketball. But when it comes to defense, you gotta be able to sacrifice your body and. I just wouldn't bet on them doing that for 4 quarters. And they haven't been able to do that for 4 quarters. Why? Because this team is 25th defensive rating. And then the Bucks are damn near first place, right? The Cavs, Bucks, and the Grizzlies. All great defensive teams. Defense wins championships. That's just the reality of it, man. I mean, that's just what it is. So I'm sorry. It's just that's just what it is, man. Free throw shooting. Yeah, it's free throw shooting every night, though. It's just one of those things, man. I'm happy to see you smile after that conversation. Facts, bro. I don't know what is going on there, but it's definitely frustrating. But I think we've covered a lot today, a lot of ground, talked about everything. It was a great conversation to have. For the people that watch this after we go off air, thank you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I know on Nice where they will win. It's a bit infuriating for people, but make sure you continue to support this. I think it's high quality conversations, it's high quality content. Thank you guys. Thank you guys again. Thank you to all the sponsors for the CK platform, Basketball Zone platform. They'll light the beam soon enough, man. They're going on the road. They got to win these games. Point blank period. It was a great test tonight. Lots of positives, lots of negatives. We covered them all. So you guys leave a review on iTunes. Check us out on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your pods, man. We're there. Just type in CK Podcast. It's going to pop up. So, on behalf of the entire CK family, Basketball Zone family, I thank you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.